it's main sector, huge sector that could provide jobs. You know, we import for more than 30 billion of USD every year, just importing food. And only 5% of young Africans are trained in agriculture. So you see the whole potential. You need to feed Africa, you need to feed the world. So when you consider agriculture as an ecosystem, from growing products to logistics, to transport, to export, etc., you have a whole value chain where you have more and more young Africans trying to get jobs into this sector. The second thing is with the new technologies, IT. You have a lot of young Africans that are inventing tools for agriculture, whether to measure the weather, whether to look at the product rate on the market, etc., to improve access to market. So it's a huge sector where we can provide millions of jobs to young Africans. You know, I mean, in most of African countries, family tends to push their kids to study up to university, but you don't necessarily get a job after studying at university in Africa. That's a huge contradiction. So we're pushing families and governments to provide training centers to whether, I don't know, electrician, agribusiness producer, whatever, but you have so many ways to train these young people with short-term training, whether in mechanics, in engineering. So you have a huge potential in terms of short-term training to all, and vocational training to all those young people, instead of thinking that it's only at going to university that they can get a job. And right now, the profile of the jobless people in Africa is a young guy who went to university who is jobless. So let's turn it around and go back to the basics. Let's give them skills, short-term skills, because the second thing is that 30% of the jobs and the skills that the world will be needing in the next 10 years, nobody knows them. So you have to make sure when you provide these short-term trainings to all these young people, they can adjust, adapt to this changing world. And I think this is one of the key messages we need to push and encourage governments to look at.